All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are listening to us from today. Thank you for making time to join us at this time, to discuss briefly about breast cancer and body image. And we have an amazing group of panelists that will be joining us over the next hour to share some of their story. Let me go ahead and share my screen as I run through a couple of introduction slides. Okay. All right, so this is Texas Southern University Breast Cancer Screening and Prevention Center. We received funding from CPRIT. CPRIT is the Cancer Prevention and Research Institute of Texas. And this afternoon or this evening, we will spend the next hour discussing about body image, right, for women that have been impacted with breast cancer. My name is Dr. Veronica Ajewale. I am the principal investigator and program director for the Texas Southern University Breast Cancer Screening and Prevention Center. And I want to say a big thank you for everyone that has taken time out to join us this evening, and as well to all our panelists that are joining us for today's conversation. So TSU Breast Cancer Screening and Prevention Center, through the funding that we received from CPRIT, $1 million grant for 3 years, we offer convenient, low-cost screening and diagnostic mammogram services to ethnic minority women who are uninsured or underinsured, living in Aries, Grimes, Matagorda, Walker, or Wharton County. We also provide patient navigation and barrier reduction services to enable women to get their screening and any follow-up that is needed depending on the results of the screening. We also provide breast cancer awareness, advocacy, and education, just as we are doing for over this next hour. I am going to post in the chat box the link to our services. So if you would like to request any of our services, feel free to complete the form online so that way you can request services and we will be able to continue connecting with you and anyone else within the community. Over this next hour, please remain muted. Feel free to drop any information that you have, questions or comments in the Q&A box, and our amazing panelists would make time to answer or address those questions at the end of today's presentation. And we want to say a big thank you to the Baddies of the Breast of Us. The Baddies is a group under the for the Breast of Us, and I'm going to read a little bit about who this group is all about. A cancer diagnosis changes everything, like we can imagine, right? And as a woman of color, where you go or where do you turn to in the midst of the fight for your life? You search online for stories and images of women who've gone through treatments and those that look like you, but for the most part, you end up finding nothing. Maybe you scroll down your timeline of social media, hoping to see a glimmer of hope in the face of other fighters and survivors, but you still yearn for something more. That's where For the Breast of Us comes in. The mission of the Breast of Us is to empower women of color who have been affected by breast cancer to make the rest of their lives the best of their lives through education, advocacy, and community. And we want to say a big thank you to Ms. Cynthia Johnson, who is the Director for Administration and Assessment here at Texas Southern University College of Pharmacy and Health Sciences, as well as a Baddie Ambassador for the Breast of Us, for assisting us in putting today's webinar together. Again, I would post, a couple of links in the chat, for a survey for our program. Like I said earlier, we are grant funded. So please, we are very open to receiving feedback from the community regarding, the impact of today's program. If there are any other topics that you would like us to talk about in the near future, feel free to share those information with us through the survey, and we will be happy to connect with you in the future. Again, welcome and thank you for joining us over this next hour as we talk about body image for women that have been diagnosed or, recently diagnosed or has been undergone treatment for breast cancer. We have three amazing panelists, and I would start by introducing each of them. First is Ms. Cynthia Johnson. Ms. Cynthia was diagnosed with stage 2 invasive ductal carcinoma in 2018, 1 year before she was old enough to begin regular mammograms. After a lumpectomy, chemo, and radiation, Cynthia is currently undergoing hormone therapy. To cope, Cynthia shared a journey candidly on social media. This led her to educate and advocate about breast cancer and women's health. Cynthia lives by the mantra, if you've got to go through it, glow through it. An educator by day, at night, Cynthia is a Baddie Ambassador for the Breast of Us, an advocacy ambassador for the Susan G. Komen Center for Public Policy, a certified global educator with the Know Your Lemons Foundation, a member of Alpha Kappa Psi Sorority Inc., and a proud Bajan Baddie. Ms. Cynthia Johnson, thank you for joining us this evening, and we are grateful for your willingness to share your story with us over the next hour. The next panelist we have here with us today is Ms. Miranda Gonzalez. At the age of 39, Miranda found a lump in her breast and was told it was nothing, which led to a new lump 6 months later and a diagnosis of stage 3 hormone positive IDC. What followed was a year which included chemotherapy, a double mastectomy with immediate deep flap reconstruction and radiation. Being a young Hispanic woman, she often felt out of place during treatment among the mostly older, affluent, and non-Latina breast cancer patients. It became a mission to find and connect with women like her so that they felt supported and seen. She is very passionate about volunteering in all facets of the cancer community, particularly with underserved population and those thriving with metastatic breast cancer. Ms. Miranda, thank you so much for making time to join us this evening, and we appreciate you for supporting our efforts and for your willingness to share your story with us. Our third amazing panelist this evening is Ms. Cynthia Edwards. In 2020, 1 month after her 30th birthday, Cynthia was diagnosed with stage 3B ER/PR positive HER2 negative invasive ductal carcinoma and ductal carcinoma in situ. After 5.5 months of chemotherapy, a double mastectomy with no reconstruction, and 31 rounds of radiation, Cynthia is currently undergoing hormone therapy for 10 years. Being a single mother, a young survivor, a Black woman, and not receiving reconstruction, she felt it difficult to find women she could relate to. This sparked a journey to get into advocacy to help other women of color that are currently experiencing similar situations as her. Cynthia is a Baddie Ambassador for the Breast of Us, a Tiger Lily angel advocate, and is working on becoming involved with more breast cancer organizations. Again, thank you so much, Ms. Cynthia, for joining us. We appreciate your support for our efforts and for your willingness to share your story with us. And we know that over the next hour, our discussions is going to be very impactful, for the community and for the patient population that we will be serving in the future. So thank you so much for joining us. I will turn this over to Ms. Cynthia as we begin today's discussion. Thank you, everybody.
Good evening, ladies. How are you?
Well, tired, old,
Right.
the weather, it's got everything kind of like the time to be in bed,
It definitely is. How are you this evening, Tan?
I'm okay, tired too. So,
So we are going to dive into our conversation. Tonight, we're going to talk about body image. And this is one of those, for me at least, roller coasters, because some days I feel like the baddie that I am, and other days it's a little tough to find your groove. So let's kick it off. When did body image kind of become a challenge? I know, like, beginning a diagnosis, you're kind of just blindsided by the news. But then as you get further along and start talking about treatment and surgeries and just start going into all of it and not feeling like yourself, your whole world changes the moment you hear you have cancer. So when did body image become a challenge for you?
After surgery for me. After surgery, because now I'm flat. So I gained a lot of weight due to the medications and everything that I'm on. And I was on doing chemo. So that's when it like hit me like, oh wow, looking in the mirror like, this is not okay for me at all. Mm-mm.
And Tam, can you just share a little bit about what it means to be a flatty baddie and how you came to your decision to not get a reconstruction?
Yeah, okay, so I made my decision based on me being a single mom and what's best for me and my household.
Right.
So I didn't want to get implants. That was just a no for me. I heard too many horror stories. And then the dip flap surgery, it was a lot of recovery for it. And with me not having a lot of help, it was kind of difficult. So I had to do what was best for me and my children, which was staying flat. I love being flat because I can wear stuff that I didn't used to wear because my breasts were huge. And I don't have boob sweat, and I don't have to worry about like, do I want to, look good in this outfit? But I also do have my my bras, and I can, if I want to, I can have a breast that day. So I always have that option. Being flat, it's like, I don't know, it's causing me now to embrace my feminine side more. I'm loving my body, even though I have gained weight. I'm loving myself like now. I'm like, okay, nobody can tell me nothing. So I'm embracing it. Being flat is like a go-to for me. And I advocate for a lot of women to listen. You don't have to get reconstruction. Go ahead and be flat if you want to. You do have that option. So yeah.
I think that's dope. I don't think women hear it or even know that it's really kind of an option, and that you can love yourself and be great no matter what you choose. And so I really love that women can see themselves in you and maybe consider other paths that they didn't even think were possible.
Yeah.
Miranda, when did body image kind of become an issue for you?
I think like most mothers, when you have kids. So I have 5 kids. They're in all varying ages. And kind of to echo what Tan said, I think once you have surgery, your body is just this complete, like I tell my husband, I felt like Mrs. Frankenstein, because you have, like patches and Band-Aids and scars and all of these things. And for me, at least, it kind of brought up a lot of the feelings, the insecurities I had about my body, just having children. I wasn't thin, I wasn't heavy. I just had regular old mom bod, nothing special, nothing bad. Didn't really love or hate anything about myself, but yeah, definitely going through surgery, you're just this completely different person. And I think also, especially for women of color, losing our hair, that's a whole other thing. You see women on TV, especially, women like Sofia Vergara, and she has this long, beautiful, dark hair. Whenever you see Latin women, you think of like, just like this sexual oozing, dark hair. And then not having that, it kind of, where it takes away your identity, it takes away your femininity. And it's just, it takes a lot to kind of reframe what you think is feminine. I love what you said, Tan, that you're more feminine now, because I do feel like once my hair started growing in, even though it was really short and very like, had like nice little tight fade, but I wanted like lots of pearls, lots of makeup, big eyelashes. It was like that kind of dichotomy of like the hard and the soft at the same time. But I think it's just a process. You're never going to be fully happy. Your breasts are never going to be perfect, whether you have surgery or don't have surgery. You're always going to find something to pick at. So it's just figuring out how can you be happy and just enjoy the moments that you do have. I love what you said, Cynthia, that sometimes you're up and sometimes you're down.
Right. You know, for me, I had gone natural, so I did the big chop maybe 2 years before, and I've always cut my hair short, but I remember the day that my hair started coming out and I lost it. Like that was hard. And I remember big chop day, and I sat in the car and I called my boyfriend and I was like, I look like a boy, I don't want to come in the house, you know? And he was like, oh, you're gorgeous, kiss your head and all that. But I mean, bald is something different, you know, and bald with like no brows, no lashes is even more different. And then for me too, I thought I was gonna get me a nice chemo diet. Nobody told me I was gonna gain weight on chemo.
Yeah, it happens.
And then even though I had a lumpectomy, I sprung a good little boob leak, went and they had to squeeze some fluid and drain. And I walked away with this deflated breast. It looked like I had just squeezed all the air out of a balloon. And I was like, what do I do with this now? You know, and I think that's one of the things that nobody talks to you about, nobody prepares you for, nobody really warns you. It's just like you have cancer, this ball starts rolling, and you just have no idea what you're getting into. You know, and like Miranda said, people, men, women, we already have feelings about our bodies long before these things happen. And then when these things happen that you can't control, where do you go? What do you do? So what were the things you did to kind of get a handle on your self-image again, how to rebuild your self-esteem and to begin to love the new you?
Oh, that's hard. Well, so I know here in Houston, of course, this is pre-pandemic. There were a couple of programs that I was able to participate in for free. I wish they were back because I would love to recommend them. But one of them is through MD Anderson and Kelsey Siebold. It's called Active Living After Cancer.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a 6-week program or 12-week I forget how many, completely free. It was 2 hours, 1 hour focused on like the emotional effects of emotional feelings toward your physical body. And the second hour was more like how to put activity back into your everyday life. So, you know, after surgery, you're sore, you can't walk well, you know, everything is stiffer, harder to move. So it was a good introduction to being around other women who were all ages, all cancers, still just trying to learn how to, you know, walk really and just be more active. And then there was also a program called the Live Strong program that was also another free 12-week program. And you could get a membership to the YMCA for free for you and your family. And you basically had a personal trainer, and they would go through, because I was not a gym person. So they went through the entire gym and talk to you about what the machines did and, you know, how to do this. And this machine works this. And you're with the same group of people, all different cancers, all different backgrounds, but you're all kind of supporting each other. Like, hey, I lifted 10 pounds this week, you know, and everybody's cheering along. Right. But at the time, at least for me, those two programs, just knowing that I could get strength back and actually be stronger than I was before, it didn't really affect so much how I looked, but more about how I felt about how I looked, if that makes sense. And I also, I don't know if I can say this, but I joined a national weight loss program that is not just what is that phrase that everyone says? It's not a diet. It's a way of life. And it's cheesy, but it really is. And a lot of the people, you know, were in there mostly because they wanted to lose weight, but they had the same issues that I had about my body. Just they didn't like themselves. And so the whole program was to teach you how to take care of yourself, how to love yourself, how to appreciate yourself and be kind to your body. And so it was really odd. I was like I was the only cancer person. And, you know, like I said, most of the people were there to lose weight, but it's just this camaraderie of people who were, again, supportive and cheering you on and just like celebrating every little milestone. And it was like, yeah, you know, maybe I can be okay like this. And maybe I don't have to leave the house with eyelashes on or my eyebrows. Maybe I can be okay, you know?
Right.
But it was all those three things together with a lot of support from different people that I met along the way, you know, that helped.
Tan, how about you? What did you begin to do to kind of feel like yourself again?
I got into makeup, heavy into makeup. And then my best friend, I have like she's awesome. She was like, go ahead and buy you some lingerie, girl. So I went in, I got me some lingerie, and I was like, okay, let me take me some pictures so that I can start feeling like the old me,
Right.
like start feeling sexy again. So that's exactly what I did. And now it's a program down here. It's called My Fit that I'm getting into. They gear towards cancer patients and everything. And they give me a personal trainers for 8 weeks. And I go twice a week, and then they're going to go ahead and let me have access to the gym. And then afterwards, they'll let me have a membership as well. So similar to you, Miranda, I'm getting into that because I want to lose the booty belly, but I'm loving myself while I'm doing it. But that makeup is literally like what is like keeping me sane. It's keeping me grounded because I'm able to express myself and be like the artsy part of me while I'm like still in my journey. So yeah. And then buying clothes that, listen, I'm embracing my curves. So I'm like, oh, look, I got a little curve. I got a little something now. I didn't have something before, but I got something now. So I'm okay with that. And then my kids, they like, Mommy, you're beautiful. So I'm like, okay. So, yeah.
So, I mean, your makeup skills are like to die for.
They
Like,
are.
everything you do is like, I feel like I could never wear blue or purple eyeshadow, but you wear it so effortlessly. It's just perfect. I love it.
Thank you.
So knowing what you all know now, what would you tell somebody else who's just starting on this journey?
Got a heavy question.
I would tell someone to be patient with yourself.
Amen.
That is like the number one thing that I'm learning. I'm learning to be patient through everything I'm going through, the ups and the downs. Love yourself. Pray.
And I think being gentle with yourself, right? Because it's different to realize I just rolled over in the bed. Why am I out of breath? You know, I just kind of walked to the bathroom and now I need a nap. Like your body is just going through some things and it's going to take a while to kind of get back to who you are. And it's kind of hard to accept sometimes.
Yeah, you have to accept your new normal because you're not
your
old self. You're creating a new life for yourself. So embrace it. Take time to embrace. And you know what? Don't rush back to work.
I needed that when I worked all through treatment. And mentally, I feel like I kind of needed it. Like that was everything is normal. I'm still good. I can still do this. But I think physically, I definitely could have taken more time.
Do y'all feel like sometimes I feel my insides don't match my outsides? I feel like I've aged on my inside, if that kind of makes sense. Like I have all of these, you know, I have to take high cholesterol medication and my blood pressure is weird. And, you know, like all these, my eyes, like need new glasses, blah, 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 my joints. Right. How do you ladies deal with, I guess, dealing with that, like that feeling, you know, that you're just like kind of aged, you know, your body?
It's kind of both for me. It's the inside and the outside, right? Because if I sit still for more than a few minutes, I'm stiff. And I get up and move around like my grandma would, you know? And it's hard. And it's for me. Okay, so for me, my body image is doubly hard because as a plus size woman, I feel like people are like, oh, she's just fat and lazy. And don't get me wrong, I am a championship sleeper, so there's some lazy going on, okay?
You have the right to sleep. You do a
But
lot.
there is also some very real chronic pain, neuropathy. Nothing works like it used to, right? And so there's that immediate kind of embarrassment and shame when you have to walk slow or, you know, drop something. And I'm like, there ain't gonna be no way I'm gonna be able to bend down gracefully. You know? And I joke all the time, like I get down on the floor in my closet and I'm like, why do you keep doing this? You know you can't get up well. And I'm like, I need life alert. But then like, I look in the mirror and I see what looks familiar, right? But I don't, like you said, I don't necessarily feel the same.
Yeah. That's why I have to worry. I have words of affirmations like everywhere in my house. So I have to tell myself, I have to read those daily.
Right.
So I can feel good about myself. So maybe you should start doing that as well. Like, cause that,
I do some affirmations, but they're not rooted in like my physical and my body image. And I need to, because, you know, there's so many things, like I reach for stuff and I'm like, my body doesn't even bend that way anymore. And you don't realize how much mobility you lose very quickly. You know, and for me, the ongoing treatment, therapy, hormone therapy, that just keeps you feeling a little off.
Yeah.
And you can't always get back to 100% the way you'd like to. And so that, I think, that might be my bigger struggle than what I look like, because I think I'm cute, you know.
You are. Yes.
But I think that the physical part of me is where I struggle the most.
It's interesting because you're saying this coming from a plus size woman, and I'm very petite, but I feel exactly the way you do. If I sit too long, I'm stiff, and getting up, I feel like I'm hunched over, and it's hard to reach for things. Yeah. So, I mean, I would say maybe for someone who is going through this, just to let them know that all of these things are normal.
Exactly.
And just whether it's exercise or your diet or yoga, you know, all those things we're supposed to be doing. I mean, I'm assuming those things help. I don't really know because I don't do them.
Right?
Probably should, but you know,
But that's the thing. Like, as a person with weight issues, that, you know, chronic pain, telling me to walk or to work out is going to help. Miss me with that. Like, I already do not feel good, and like you said, it probably does. But like, how do you get yourself there is a hard part when you, and especially like with cancer, when you genuinely do not feel good. But now I got to go do yoga.
Well, and I think too, it's easier when you have a community, and it's hard because we're still in the pandemic, and you know, a lot of people still aren't doing things in person. Because I know here at the hospital where I had treatment, they would have yoga events, and it was like free, and you could go, and I would meet a lot of women there. And it's easy to do when everyone around you is kind of at the same level that you are, right? Because then you don't feel like, oh, this person's doing this much and I'm down here. Well, you're all kind of in the same boat. So definitely finding some kind of community or like-minded people that can, you know, that know how you feel, that can support you when you're down and hype you up when you need it, you know? It's just,
that's one thing I wish I would have did. Due to COVID, everything was virtual, and I didn't participate in the events, the virtual events that was like in my area, because I was just too sick. But that's what I want to do now. I want to get into like the yoga and stuff, but I don't want to do it virtually because
it's not the same.
If we're gonna be honest, I'm not gonna do it.
Right.
I'm not. I need to see people. I need someone to like push me and be like, okay, you got this. You got it. Because I need to hear it in my head. That's the only way I'm gonna actually do it, not virtually.
And that's so hard for me because I'm like, yeah, I'm a kind of introverted, social anxiety-ish. So I'm like, sounds good. I prefer in person, but reality is I'm not gonna do that either. So
you just need like a personal trainer, just one-on-one.
I do. The sad part is my little brother is a personal trainer. But he's like ninja warrior all out. And I'm like, and he's someone who has to like diet and force himself to overeat to try to gain weight. and he doesn't quite understand. He trains athletes. You know, I want to increase my performance record so I can go to the Olympic kind of training. And I'm like, we don't work well together.
No, you need somebody that has experience, like coming from some type of cancer background or education.
And
'cause
the
it's a
crazy
completely
thing, in
different
his
thing.
day job, he does physical rehabilitation for like stroke and traumatic brain injury patients. But it's something like with me, it's like, I'll go run that mile. And I'm like,
It's because
I'm
you're
not about
his
to run if I'm
sister.
being chased. What are you talking about?
It's because you're his sister.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
And then,
why.
you know, and then he's my brother. So he's like, yeah, do that. And I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not doing it. So I do need somebody else. But that is one of my goals, is to just get some of my physical fitness back.
Yeah.
My flexibility. That's a big one for me.
It's hard to walk to the
It
store. Like
is.
in the store, I'm like, okay, let me just go ahead and get the little sit down thing. Cause me walking for too long, I literally come in here and my feet. So I don't know what's going on with my feet, but it's the neuropathy plus the bone pain from the hormone therapy that I'm on. It's just like, my doctor's like, oh, you know, you can walk a little bit. I'm like, okay, I can walk for like 5 minutes and then I got to sit down because my feet hurt.
And I still have ongoing. So right after radiation, every time I stood up, my heart rate skyrocketed. Wow. And before I realized that's what it was, I was like, yo, I think I need a walker. Like, what is happening? You know, but I would, every time I stood, my heart rate would go to 120, 125. And so I still battle with some of that. But again, you feel like the fat girl in the grocery store riding a scooter, you know? And I feel like I have to be like, yo, I got breast cancer and neuropathy, you know, like, but it shouldn't matter. You know, if I need it, I need it, period.
Yeah.
You know, but that is one of my struggles.
Yeah. I had a guy ask me the other day at the store. He was like, oh, what's wrong? And I was like, oh, breast cancer. He was like, what? And I was just like, look, I don't want to explain myself at this point, but it's just breast cancer. So that's why I can't physically do certain things. So anything else, sir?
So Cynthia and I, because we, you know, go to the same events, we have traveled together on the plane. And so another friend of ours told us that they go, I guess, to the desk and whatever they do, and they board the plane with people, you know, who they say, like, does anyone need extra time to board the plane? And they board the plane. And I'm like, can we do that, Cynthia? She's like, okay, well, we'll try it. I'm like, okay, we're gonna try it this time. And so we got in a line and waited, you know, with all the people to board early. I felt okay because I had Cynthia, because if I was by myself, I was like,
and I think we had on breast cancer t-shirts, so I really felt like, oh, they're not gonna say nothing, you know.
It's like, we need to wear our shirts, like the sleeve, like all the, you know, everything. So a couple weeks ago, I was coming back from San Diego, and I was like, I'm gonna try this. I'm by myself. I'm gonna try it. Tell Cynthia, see what happens. So I had my sleeve, I had my shirt, I had my laptop out because I just come through security with all my breast cancer stickers on it. I made sure to put on the counter, and I was like, so I went through breast cancer, and I had a friend who told me that I could come to the desk to board early. And she's like, well, what exactly do you need from us? I'm like, I just want to get on the plane early. So she had attitude, but she gave me the boarding pass to get on early. So it was literally 4 or 5 older people in wheelchairs and then me behind them. And I could feel that, you know, those burning eyes. People like, what in the world is this woman doing? Because on the outside, I look fit. I look like I'm healthy. You know, my cholesterol is sky high. I'm not. But I think that's the other thing, right? Because even when you see your body, you know, wearing, like, you know, your makeup's perfect, your hair is perfect, your outfit's cute, you see this outer image, but it's still that kind of mental mind game where you don't feel what you see.
You know, and I think that sometimes the hard part is, like, you know, as it is, the world thinks, oh, you've been through treatment, you're good.
Right.
You know, but like literally life is never the same. You know, and we carry all these feelings inside mentally and emotionally, but literally physically. You know, and it's funny because, like, sometimes at work or I'm with people and they're like, oh, let's just take the stairs. And again, oh, fat girl don't want to take the stairs. No, I literally cannot feel 4 toes on my foot. You know, and I struggle with that. I'm like, y'all don't understand. I don't take the elevator just for shits and giggles. But like, you know, my heart rate is 120 at any given moment and I can't feel my feet. Like, what do you want me to do?
Yeah.
You know, but I also young, 44. Like, I also don't want to get around like an old lady for the next 40 years. I want to be physically fit. I want to be able to do all of the things. You know, but like Miss Tan, you're sad to say, just starting this hormone therapy journey.
No. And I went
You know?
through every aromatase inhibitor, every last one. And now I'm on tamoxifen. And I'm like, oh, the tamoxifen introduced like back pain. And I'm like, what is going on? And not to talk about the hot flashes. I'm like, I can't physically walk to my car without having a hot flash. And I'm like, I'm ready to strip. Not just, also with me, I have to walk up flights of steps and I'm literally struggling. And I'm like, Lord, okay, I'm gonna get there. I look like I'm 80. I feel 80, but I'm 31. Like it's crazy.
And I feel like that's another thing that goes unnoticed. Like these treatments and the ongoing therapies, they do a lot to us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not simply, oh, you had surgery, new boobs or not, hair grew back and it's over. Like for some people, this is literally a 5 to 10 year journey continued. Let's not talk about our metastatic sisters.
Yeah.
Who are really going to be in ongoing and continued therapy indefinitely.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and for us, like our hair gets to come back. But for someone who's going to be on ongoing chemo year after year after year, you don't even kind of have that comfort.
Yeah.
You know, and these are the things when you hear these words, no one tells you any of this stuff. No one tells you 10 years down the road, you're still going to be sitting here like, my life changed. What do I do?
Yeah.
And there should be a ton more resources for how you feel about yourself, what your body looks like, and how you feel about your body image.
I mean, and I think that's the biggest issue that I see with just women finishing treatment and just in the general community. There isn't a lot of support for survivorship.
Right.
Like actually the day-to-day getting up, you know, not your bills, not your support group, but just like getting up and functioning and living your life. That I think that's where a lot of people struggle. So it's the feelings you have about your body, it's the physicality of your body, and then just marrying those two and living every single day. And I think that's the big struggle.
It is. And you know, one thing too, we talk about this a lot, you know, amongst us baddies is, as a woman, your body has changed. Yes, boobs are life-giving, but let's keep it real, they're part of our sexual bodies, right? And then you body slam people into menopause and sex goes out the window. And for those of you, and I'm not gonna put all your business in the street, but Miranda is married. How do you get that feeling, you know, to feel sexy, to feel in the mood, and everything below the belt is like, yeah, no.
Some herbal help. And that's all I'm gonna say about that. But
you know, nothing worked for me, you know, as far as like, let's get everything kind of working again. It was like, yeah, no, we want no parts of that. And so how do you feel kind of sexy? How do you feel intimate sometimes? And all of this is different.
I like what Tan said about buying special clothing.
Lingerie.
I never had any of that. And I recently bought a few things, and it does make you feel a certain kind of way. Right. It really does. But it's finding things that are not necessarily, you know, some women want like, you know, the one string, and that's great if that's your thing, you know, but I prefer stuff that's a little more, you know, I like to say classy or elegant. But there's everything on the internet, right? So I think that's a good point that she made, trying to find whatever kind of thing that you need, not even wearing it for your partner or whoever, wearing it for yourself, and just looking at yourself and seeing what do you want to accentuate? What do you want to hide? You know, whatever your best feature is, playing that up. So I'm curious, Tan, especially because most women do, you know, like their breasts are like their defining feature. What do you think is like the sexiest part of your body? What do you love like the most?
My smile in my eye.
Oh,
It's not even like anything below. It's like my eyes and my smile. Like I get the most compliments about that. So like I think that's like my best attribute about myself.
mhm.
I'd agree. You've got a gorgeous smile.
Yeah.
I look at you and I'm like, damn, I should have worn my retainer like they told me.
You know what? I didn't wear mine. So I didn't wear mine. All that money down the drain and then didn't even wear it.
Did you know, like, I know you said you got into makeup kind of after your diagnosis. Did you always wear makeup, or did you like, what did you do to like learn to do all the stuff you do now?
I took makeup classes. The only thing I knew how to do was my eyebrows and how to apply foundation. That was it.
Wow.
I learned eyeshadows. I started taking the classes in December. So
Really?
from December to now, that's how I've gotten good at it.
Like you got real good real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But see, but you already said you could do eyebrows. See, like
Mhm.
I can do like graphic design. If I had to draw my eyebrows, one would be over here, one would be down here. I can't even get my wings anywhere near.
It's a lot of practice. That's
It's
the
a
one
lot.
thing. Yeah. I won't leave the house without eyebrows. That's the only thing. I can do anything else. I don't care if I'm got spaghetti on my shirt or whatever. Yeah,
You
not
know
doing
what?
that.
Ombre or
The
Mm-mm.
ombre eyes,
I
See,
wish I had done it sooner.
the new techniques and everything, I learned something new, and then tomorrow it's something like, oh yeah, it's a new technique on how
I
you
know
do
a girl. I love that I don't have to think about eyebrows anymore. They're just there. Because if
Oh,
it was,
like microblading.
yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
because I know a girl, I can hook you up.
I definitely was like, I want someone to do the ombre eyebrows, because I'm like,
Are you should come get them done when you're here for the sneaker ball. I know somebody.
I do it. I'm afraid though.
No, it didn't hurt at all.
They didn't.
No,
Okay.
I'm so serious. I was like, and it didn't.
Okay. I'm gonna have to go ahead and do it, because I'm like, it's gonna make my life so much easier when it
It
comes to
really
like
does.
doing makeup.
It really does. I'm not a makeup girl. I never really have been. And I didn't really lose all of my brows, but they were struggling. And
I
so
lost all
I
my
do
brows.
feel like it helps just frame my face even when I don't do anything else. So
I
Miranda,
lost
same question for you. What's your feature? What's that thing that you go, I still got it?
Who, me?
Mhm.
Oh, I used to really love my hair because I had long, dark, straight hair that, of course, I never appreciated until it was gone.
Right.
I don't know. I think I'm still kind of working on that. So I think, and I'm a little bit older than you ladies.
Barely.
I feel much older, but so it's also like body issues, but aging issues. So
Right.
that's kind of where I am now. Like once my hair started growing in, I'm like, I'm never going to color my hair. I don't, you know, 'cause some women are like, they ran straight to the salon. Great for them. But I was like, I'm not doing it. It's too much upkeep. It's too expensive. No. Months go by. I'm like, let me let my hair grow out and see what it does. And I saw some pictures actually. It was you, Cynthia, myself, and two other friends of ours. And I was like, damn, my hair is gray. I'm like, nope, we're not doing that anymore. So, you know, do I want to keep doing this and keep it up? Because now, you know, I don't know about you ladies, but my hair grew in completely different. It's thin and it's curly. It's not, I don't know how to mess with it. I'm not educated on it. So learning how to kind of figure that out. And, you know, my husband's like, you always complain about your hair. Why don't you just cut it? I'm like, I want to complain about hair. Okay. Leave me alone. I like complaining about it.
Right.
yes.
But I think about having short hair and how much easier it was. And it's just very, like, I don't know, Tan, like I don't know what it is about your hair. It's just like, so like, it's very chic. I think that's the word I'd use. It's just like a lot of power in it, especially when you're coloring it, because it's like, so then again, it's like, you know, like the hard and the soft, you know, it's like it's very short, but it's like bright and colorful. And I love that kind of, you know, opposites kind of thing.
Yeah.
So what made you decide to keep your hair short?
I would have short hair before I got diagnosed. I had locks, and then one day I woke up and I said, so I had like a bald spot after I had my twins, and then I ended up cutting my hair off, and then I let my locks grow back. And then I just woke up one day and I was like, okay, I'm done. I don't want hair anymore. So I just cut it off, and then I dyed my hair neon green. My niece was like, dye it green. So I went and I dyed it green, and it was like really dope. And I was like, okay, I like this. And then I got diagnosed, cut it off like this short and dyed it red. Was my best color. But then I was like, you know what? I tried to let my hair grow back after chemo, because it was like, I don't know, I didn't really like my texture when the hair came back. It was like, I didn't appreciate my texture before chemo, but I definitely didn't like the texture after chemo.
Right.
It was like that weird, like it wasn't that it was thin, it was, I put water on it and it just curled up, and then I tried to like brush it and it wouldn't do anything. So it was just that little weird stage. So I cut it. I tried to actually dye it with peroxide, because I was like, I'm not gonna do any bleach. So I dyed it with peroxide, and it was like this brown. And then I said, no, I can't do it anymore. I just gotta, then I went blue. So I was like, you know what? I gotta go back to my old self. Color was me. So I love color. I love short hair. I feel like short hair fits me more than like the longer hair, even though I can rock long hair. Yes. Me with a short little fade, and I can brush it. I can just be like, okay, good. Let me go to the barbershop. Just, you know.
Oh, I do miss the short
off.
hair, but I'm a low maintenance girl, and going to the barbershop every week is not going to happen.
I go like every 2 weeks, or
That's
like
probably not going to happen
month,
either.
or every month. It depends, because I didn't get a haircut for like a month like in July. So, and I just had her haircut like last week, and I need one now. So,
And that's the other thing. My hair has always grown really quickly. So,
yeah.
And so what is your best feature, Cynthia? What is it that what's the thing that you like highlight the most about yourself that just makes you just feel like just, you know, glamorous, fabulous?
I don't know. Some days I just feel like it all comes together, and I'm like walking and there's a spotlight on me, like, you know. So on those days, you know, it's like, oh, I still got it, you know. I just feel like me. And sometimes it's jarring, because I'll catch my reflection in a mirror or a big window, and I'm like, oh, that's different. You know, and I just feel like old me, you know. And so I don't know if there's any one thing, but there are some days where, you know, curls are hitting right, you know, everything just kind of feels like kind of come together, and I'm like, okay, I can do this, you know. There's life after cancer. It's not so bad, you know. And then there's some days where it's just like nothing works, everything hurts. You know, struggle to get to the bathroom without peeing on myself because I was stiff and the bladder is trash, you know. And I just feel old. But then some days I feel like sin, you know. So I think I'm with you on Miranda. I'm still kind of on that journey some days, like.
Yeah, it's definitely a work in progress. I think that's what I would probably say to someone, that it's always, even if you're not going through treatment, just being a woman and just the things that we deal with in society, just every day figuring out how to make peace with that in yourself. And I think you're exactly right. Some days you're just like really feeling it, and then some days you just, you know, want to wear a dirty t-shirt and, you know, not wash your face and just watch TV all day, you know. But I think those are important days too, though, right?
Right. And I think I mean, of course, we have this whole post-cancer world where you really can't dissect it. Like, if there's not a day that cancer is not a part of like your life. But I mean, I think it's helpful for me to sometimes remember that the average woman is probably going through the same thing, whether she's had cancer or not, right?
Right.
You know, these women are not getting these BBLs and standing on flights for hours to get home because they feel like their bodies are amazing, you know?
That's true.
You know? So, I mean, if it wasn't cancer, if it wasn't side effects of treatment and medication, I'd probably still be doing the same dance, you know?
Yeah. Maybe further down the line rather than now, though, right?
Hopefully, but
You know, one thing that I love about you, Cynthia, is that you change your glasses all the time. You
because your
wear
girl
like
is
different ones.
blind and these glasses are a must.
But
You
I
know,
mean, you
people
don't.
are like, oh, I lost my glasses. No, I fall asleep in mine. I wear them in the shower. Like, I cannot see, but I do. That has been like my accessory, because even
Yeah.
when I don't want to comb my hair and I, you know, scarf it up and pull the curls back because they're 10-day-old curls, you know, I feel like the glasses are a cute accessory. Because again, I'm not a makeup girl. I don't even change my earrings often, you know, but for me, I need them, and at least they can be cute.
Yeah.
I love it. It's kind of like your signature, like, you know,
Thank
pretty
you.
glasses, cool glasses.
Right. 'Cause
Yes.
I mean, these bad boys are thick. You know.
So we talked about, for the Breast of Us, having our sneaker ball here in Houston in October. A lot of people aren't familiar with that, so I've had to explain that it is literally a gown and sneakers, you know, formal wear and sneakers. So when you think about what you're going to wear, like what makes you feel just like, you know, the most extravagant, do you ladies have an idea of the kind of gown or outfit that you want?
I don't, but I do want to speak to that a little bit. And one of our baddie sisters, Natasha, kind of helped with the marketing and the theme behind our ball. And what I love about it is the tagline that it's not always glitz and glam. And I think it's perfect for us that we can get dressed up, finest of gowns, and then we can rock our kicks and our tennis shoes because, yo, we can't walk, we got neuropathy, we tired.
Mhm.
You
Yeah.
know, and standing around in heels all night are a thing of the past. And so I really think it is so fitting, you know, that it caters to all sides of us. And so I have no clue what I'm gonna wear yet.
I have been looking. Amazon is Amazon, and I'm gonna Amazon. Okay.
Amazon gets all my money.
Yeah.
Gowns. They have some beautiful gowns. I found like 2 that I narrowed it down to,
Oh, nice.
and I'm waiting until I drop like 10 pounds so I can be like, you know what, the belly gonna be less belly. You know, I haven't found the sneakers yet, but I did find a dress, and I know what color I want to wear because I'm like, it's gonna look really nice on my skin. So yeah, I definitely Amazon if you haven't found it yet.
I have bought stuff from there. They're pretty inexpensive too.
But I'm
It
still
will.
a little traumatized from our baddie photo shoot this summer and the
Oh.
probably 25 white outfits I
Oh,
bought.
that's
And I got some that literally I had to go back to my shopping cart and be like, what is this even supposed to be?
Oh,
It doesn't look like the picture. Like, what is this? So
no.
I'm not a shopper. Miranda, when I see you next weekend, I'm gonna need some help. We're gonna have to come up with some ideas.
A dress with pockets.
Yes. Love a good dress with pockets.
they're so hard to find
They
though.
are.
That's the only issue.
Maybe an over the shoulder dress.
Yeah, I got to figure this one out. I don't know what I want to wear. I know I'll be comfortable in the shoe piece, but I want to be comfortable up top. Like, I don't want to be yanking it down because it's too short or too tight. But I want it to be cute. I feel like this is big. And I do want to say quickly for the Breast of Us, another thing that has helped me is our annual photo shoots. You know, my first year of the retreat, we did the topless shoot, the When You See Us campaign, see us as we are, flat, uniboob, lumpectomy, scars and all.
I
And
love
it
that
was
too.
the first time that I kind of bared my body in a way that I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Not only that, it's, you know, when we do these shoots, we do them together. And it's like,
Yeah.
some of those photos, if it was up to me, would never see the light of day.
Yeah.
but because you're with your girls and the messaging is so much bigger than any of us individually, my gut is all over the internet.
I don't,
you know what?
Empowering
see
to
that.
be in that space together. It's so empowering,
Yeah. When I seen that shoot, because I love that show, I was like, oh, I want to do that. You don't even look at any of the imperfections. All you see is like these powerful women that have gone through breast cancer. You don't see any, you saying gut, I didn't even notice it was a gut on the
right.
So I didn't notice that, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people did not notice that, because them photos was bad, okay? But you need to just blow them up and put them in
and I plan to, but just that being in the space with 20 or so other women, doing our best to feel and look good on that day, encouraging one another. It's the one time of year that I'm guaranteed to feel good. Even if I look in that mirror when the photo shoot starts and I'm like, when you get with your baddie sisters and we're all glammed up and we know the messaging and how those photos are going to inspire other women looking to find people who look like them going through the same thing, that has always been a good boost for me.
It was my fear, and it was like, that was something that I needed. Like, you guys like cleanse my soul. Like, I didn't even realize that I needed that. My mom pushed me to go, because I was like, oh, my Baddie Ambassador. And I'm like, are they having a retreat? And she's like, you need to go. I'll come down and watch the twins. Like, you can go. And I'm like, no, I'm okay. And she's like, no, this is needed. And
it is.
That push was definitely needed. After I came back, I was like, I'm refreshed. I understand more about myself.
Right.
That it was, finding your community is important.
That is also very important, to getting that body image back and feeling good. Finding people who know what you're going through, who knows what it feels like. Even if our stories aren't all identical, we do have a commonality that kind of ties us all together.
Yeah.
One of the pictures that we took, I happened to be kind of in the front, and I had on a very fitted bodysuit. And like any other natural woman, one of my breasts is, heavier and lower than the other. I always like to say it's winking, right? Like I got a winking chest.
I call them my Forrest Whitakers.
Yes, that's it. But when I'm looking at the picture, of course, the first thing I'm looking at, I see me, and I'm telling my husband, like, oh my God, like my breasts are like cockeyed, like they're completely off kilter. And it's like, wait a minute, I need to reframe that. And I need to see the picture for what it is, that it's everyone all together, all backgrounds, all bodies, in all these beautiful bright colors, and just like the power behind it. Like that's what important. That's more important than this one little critique that I have about myself, right? And I think you said it perfectly, Cyn. It's like, it's the bigger picture.
Right.
And seeing all these women, and it's the same thing, I think you look a certain way, and you think I look a certain way, and we don't think that way about ourselves,
Right.
But if I can see this person and she's just like doing it and just killing it and looking awesome, then I need to do that. I need to feel that way to support her, because I don't know how she's feeling. And I think, again, it's just that community of just like hyping you up, and people who understand, who feel the way you do, And I would never take pictures like that by myself, ever.
Right.
Never. So I'm completely in agreement with you, Cyn. Like, if I wasn't there, those would not have happened.
And when I think about it, like even my experience coming into these baddies and being front and center with people like a flatties, where else do you see that and see people just talk about it, show it? And I just think how important it is that women are going to be able to look and see themselves and see options and see that life is good beyond cancer.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you wake up feeling like complete trash, it doesn't last forever. But there is community, there is joy, there's still beauty, there's still sexy, there's still glamorous in all of this. And I'm grateful for the community that allows us to show that and show that to other women.
Yeah,
absolutely. Because it's not how like you said, that's not how I always see myself. you know, but there are other women who see those photos, see our campaigns and go, oh, there's some bad women. And I can do that too, you know?
It's very fulfilling, and it makes it worth it. It makes your hard days easy to know that somebody got something out of it. You know, I've heard, so we have a new ambassador, Natasha, and she has specifically said when she was starting treatment, she just happened upon our pictures, and that it was one of the things that made all the difference to see younger women, you know, Latinas and Asians, Black women, everyone, you know, in all these different stages, and just, yeah, like it's just a lot of power. You know, we're so hard on ourselves, but we have the babies, right? Because that's what our bodies are built for, because we can take it. And then just putting all that strong female energy together, you know, it's just a beautiful feeling. It makes it worth it. It makes it easier for sure.
It absolutely does. It do. So ladies, thank you for this amazing conversation this evening. Dr. Ajawale, you can come back in the room and close us out. But again, I'm so grateful for you. If anybody is interested, you can find For the Breast of Us at breastofus.com and For the Breast of Us on all the socials. And thank you for listening.
Wow, wow, wow. I mean, multiple applause to you guys. Thank you so much for sharing from your acts. Like, you talked through a lot of things, from sexuality to outlook to dressing and the makeup and the hair. I'm like, wow. I mean, thank you. You guys shared from your act. And that's what I love the most, you know, about this type of conversations. I'm a clinical pharmacist, right? And as a clinical pharmacist working with patients that have cancer, we get to talk to them about, you know, these things, but you bringing in this personal touch, the lived experience, it makes a lot of difference. And I am very grateful, like extremely grateful, very appreciative of you all coming out, advocating and telling out that the things shared today are things that you probably won't hear anywhere else, right? Things that sometimes people struggle with it, they kind of bottle it up. But you've kind of created that conducive environment within your group, within, you know, the group of the Breast of Us, to be able to network, create that community, create that support. And I mean, I am grateful. Thank you, Miss Cynthia, for, you know, connecting TSU with this group. And thank you so much, Miss Miranda and Miss Chandria. Thank you for sharing today. We are so grateful. And to all the audience currently online, and to those that will be watching us, again, this content is going to be enduring. I'm so excited. I'm looking forward to promoting these guys. Like, you know, like everybody needs to hear this. Like, you know, this needs to be on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and we will be posting, you know, on all our social media platforms. I am just so excited about, you know, the impact of what we've shared today and how that can help other people in their journey, because that's what this is all about. That's what this is all about. So thank you again for, you know, joining us this evening, spending quality time, you know, to share from your act. We are very, very grateful. I will circle back around and just share the closed out slides, you know, to kind of share a little bit more information about what we do here at Texas Southern University Breast Cancer Screening and Prevention Center. I looked through the chat box. We don't have any additional questions from the audience, because I think you guys did an amazing job, you know, addressing, you know, the different topics that we've talked about today. I would like to, again, you know, share with the audience a couple of links, which are surveys, you know, for the program regarding the content that we shared today. Again, we are grant funded program, so your feedback is very important. What do you want to hear next time that we come together, right? We want to be able to put together creative content, but this content needs to be driven by the community. So please complete the survey. Let us know how we did today, what you would like to hear in our next programming, and we will be able to source for the resources and the people that would, meet the requests from the community. Additionally, we would also post the link to, request services from us in Texas Southern University, so that way, if you know of anybody, family member, friends, anyone all around that needs our services, you can share that with them. We do have an upcoming, breast cancer talk next month. So this one is titled, Let's Talk About Breast Cancer, right? Just basic education, right? About screening and prevention. You ladies this evening, you've shared your journey, during treatment and life after. But, this one is like taking us a step back and say, okay, can we actually prevent this, right? For those that have not been diagnosed with breast cancer, what information do we need to tell them? So this is in collaboration with Navasota Library, Public Library, and we will be streaming it in person and live on Zoom. So registration is already open. Feel free to share the information, all across for anyone that would like to join us. Again, Texas Southern University Breast Cancer Screening and Prevention Center, we offer convenient, no-cost screening and diagnostic mammogram services to ethnic minority women who are uninsured or underinsured, living in Aries, Grimes, Matagorda, Walker, and Wharton County. We do offer patient navigation and barrier reduction services to enable women to receive their screening, and also breast cancer awareness, advocacy, and education, just like we are doing this evening. My name is Dr. Veronica Joelle. I have the privilege of being the program director and the principal investigator for this program. So once again, I want to say thank you to all the audience and to the amazing panelists. Like, I am so full of joy and very excited about the information that we've shared today, and most importantly, the impact of the content that has been shared, how we can make use of that on social media. So please feel free to follow us, like us on social media platforms. This content is going to be posted on YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram, so that way we spread the word. We should not keep this as the best kept secret, right? Let's get it out into the community, and we can make better impact with the content that we've discussed today. Any last thing to share from Ms. Cynthia, from any of the panelists? Any last word for the community before we close out?
I would just say thanks for the opportunity to allow us to try to take this kind of negative experience and turn it into something positive to help someone else. So thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. It's always our pleasure. Thank you.
Yes, I want to say thank you as well. And, I would love to come back and talk again.
Yes, absolutely. Oh my goodness, the door is open. Like we have these webinars at the minimum once every quarter, and of course we know the next quarter we are getting into October. Our calendar is filling up pretty quickly, and Zoom makes it easy for us, right, to be able to host these things online. So absolutely, we would love to have you come back and share any content information that will be impactful to the community.
Yes,
absolutely. Thank you so much. And I'm just grateful to be part of this community. I'm grateful to be part of For the Breast of Us, and I'm grateful to be part of this Breast Cancer Screening and Prevention Center. Breast cancer, women who look like us, minority women, Black, Hispanic, Latina, Asian, Indian, are receiving these diagnoses at alarming rates. And I think the more information we can share, the more women we can get into to be screened, the more women we help. And so I just thank you for the opportunity to again share and hopefully touch someone who may touch someone. And then that means that we're doing our part after our journeys.
Exactly. And that's what it's all about, creating that support system.
Right.
So it takes all of us to build that support system. And that's exactly what we are doing here today. So thank you again, everyone. Have a restful evening to the audience online live, and to those that will be watching us in the near future. Thank you for connecting with us. And we hope to be in touch with more helpful information about breast health in general. Thank you, everyone. Have a blessed
Good night.
Thank you. Bye-bye.